Hello and welcome. This is our first episode of how to pronounce. So, in this series, we will check together some words that are confusing or hard to pronounce. We will learn how to pronounce them together and how to use them in sentences. So, first of all, we have hair, hair. Both of them have the same pronunciation hair, hair. The first hair, of course, we are talking about your hair. The second one is a wild rabbit, a rabbit that you can find in the forest and usually people go to hunt. Here, 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 here. The first one here, it is in this place. So I am here. He is there. So here, if something is close or between us, there when something is far away. Here, this is one of the five senses. I hear you. I hear you. Now look at this. So what do you think? How do we pronounce this? Air, air. The H is silent. Heiress, heiress, heir, heiress. An heir is usually the person who will take after the leader when the leader dies. Usually, this leader is a king or a queen. So there is this crown prince or the first prince who will become king after his father's death. Heiress, this is when we talk about the girl, like actor, actress, waiter, waitress, heir, heiress. Of course, nowadays we not only use this word with leaderships like politicians and royal families and so on, but we also use them when we want to talk about a big family business like Nestle, for example. So this is an empire or a kingdom of business. So we say the heir to the company who will become the president of the company after his father's death. Heir, heiress, hideous, hideous, hydrous, hydrous. Hideous means very, very ugly. Brutal. If we want to talk about an accident, for example, I say today I saw a hideous car accident. So it is something that I don't want to see or I don't want to experience again. Hideous. Hideous comes from the verb hide. So when somebody hides, he doesn't want other people to see him. So he's a very hideous man. He's very ugly. He doesn't want other people to see him. Hydrous, this is it's about water because hydra, so this is about water. So when I say there was this hydrous fountain where the water comes out, so hideous, hydrous, hideous, hydrous. No, 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 no. So they have the same pronunciation. Of course, no, the opposite of yes. And I know this, so I have knowledge about it. New, 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 new. Also have the same pronunciation. This is the opposite of old. So it's new news, something that happened right now. And I knew about this, the past of know. Noun, noun, known, known. Noun, this is one of the types of the words. So we have verbs and we have nouns. So, for example, what's your name? My name is Mike. Mike is a special noun. Known, known. The third perfect of know, know, knew, known. So this is known to everybody. When I say well known, so it's famous, something famous, well known. When there is somebody I don't know who he is, I say he's a nobody, he's unknown, unknown. None, 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 none. They have the same pronunciation. None, it means zero. When I say, for example, do you have any questions? I say none. It means I don't have any questions. Non-alcoholic beverage, so it's a beverage that doesn't have any alcohol. And none here, this is like sister when we talk about the Christianity and church. So she is a nun in the church, like she's a sister in the church. None. Main, 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 main. They have the same pronunciation too. When I say these are the main points, it means the points that we want to focus on, the origin of the points or the core points, the most important points. When we say he plays the main role in the movie, so it is the most important role. Mane here, we're talking about the hair of the lion. So the hair of the lion, we call it mane. Wade, wade, wide, wide. So there is a difference here. Wade, maybe many people know Wade from Wade Wilson. Of course, wade, we are talking about when a person is walking through a swamp or he is walking in the sea. The way he is walking like this, it's not easy to walk in the sea or walk in a swamp. So I say he is wading across the sea or he is wading across the swamp. Wide, of course, this is the opposite of narrow. Like, for example, I say there is a wide corridor connecting the two buildings. So it has a very big width. So wide is the adjective and width is the noun, the opposite of narrow. Wide, opposite, narrow. This is really confusing. So let's take them together. Tough, tough, though, though. Tough means hard or very strong. When I say, this cookie is very tough, so I can't eat it. I must put it in some milk and then I can eat it. And when I say that this is a tough cookie, it means this is a hard situation. I must be careful about it. And usually, for example, in a family, the father must be tough. So he must be responsible and hard, especially towards the boys. Though, though, though we use it like but or despite. I worked a lot, and though I was tired, I decided to continue working. I worked hard. I had fun though. So though here means but or despite. Through, through, thorough, thorough, through, through, thorough, thorough. Through, it is when you go from the beginning of something to the end. So, for example, I went through the market. So I entered the market from one side and went through to the end. For example, I went through the book in 2 hours. It means I read the whole book from the beginning to the end in 2 hours. Thorough, this is an adjective. When I say, for example, he's a thorough inspector. He pays attention to all the small details. He's very detailed oriented, thorough. He thinks about everything from A to Z, and nothing escapes him. So he is like Sherlock Holmes, for example. He's a very thorough person, pays attention to all the small details. Bear, 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 bear. They have the same pronunciation. Of course, bear, it can be the animal or it can be the verb when you carry something hidden or something that people can't see. For example, I bear the responsibility of my family. Can you see the responsibility on my shoulders? No, of course not. I bear love in my heart. So I carry love in my heart. The second bear, it means without using any extra stuff like any equipment or any clothes or whatever. For example, when you say, I will kill him with my bare hands. So you will not use a weapon or anything. You will not wear gloves. So with just my fists. So this is bear. Pear, 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 pear. So they also have the same pronunciation. Pair, for example, two things that you usually buy in pairs. Like, for example, a pair of gloves or a pair of sunglasses. Pear, this is the famous fruit. Pear. Peer, 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 peer. So they also have the same pronunciation. For a peer is usually a person who is the same as you or the same age as you. Or, for example, you work together and you have the same title. Peer, we can also use it as a verb when you want to look carefully or look into the future about something. And this pier, we are talking about the place in the harbor where you stop your boat or ship. Like, for example, where is my ship? It is in pier 8, for example. And then we have plane, 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 plane. They also have the same pronunciation. The first one, we all know it, the airplane, the famous transportation method. The second one, plane, it means simple or without any additions. For example, the wall was plain white. So it was only white. It didn't have any paper, it didn't have any other colors. How was your day? It was very plain. So it was very normal, maybe a little boring because nothing special happened. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in other how to pronounce, inshallah.